Bam. We're live. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see y'all. Sebastian, what's up, dude? Thanks for the membership. Nice clean shave. Sebastian Lofgren, thank you, buddy. Isaac, what's up, dude? I can't wait too. I'm actually a little nervous, believe it or not. Like excited, nervous. I've always wanted to meet Perrin. Some of the people, it's kind of like, oh, I just feel like I have to do it. But with Perrin, I was like, I'm so curious. I'm so curious to hear her story. Corey, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Oh, don't forget, guys, tomorrow, Kill Taylor, 8 a.m. Woo! 2 weeks in a row. Taylor's licking some wounds. David Weed, I have strange feelings about this. Me too. In a good way, strange feelings. No conversation restrictions, none. That was just me being paranoid. Absolutely none. That was just me. I kind of get on my high horse. That was all just my ego. Just like how, that was all me. That had nothing to do with Perrin. That was all my ego.
Chris. Oh.
Hi, Travis. Nice to see you.
I can't hear him. Chris. I can't hear him unless.
Oh, are we gonna have a CTP cameo here? That would be crazy.
Oh, live?
I don't know.
Let's see if we can get his face in here.
Well, I'm assuming he's talking. I can't hear him.
CTP, we can hear you.
Here,
Maybe I should text her. Oh, J.R. Howell's in for the CrossFit Games update show tonight.
I don't know. Should I get out?
Let me see. She has a nice setup. It looks like she sent me a picture saying CTP hooked me up with a nice setup. I hear you.
I have no idea. Dude.
Let's see.
Oh, he hears me.
I hear you. Yeah.
This is like completely frozen.
Your whole computer's frozen.
Female.
Something's wrong with my computer.
Wouldn't happen at Mayhomp.
Female.
Never would this happen in Mayhem.
No, seriously, I don't know how to get
out. CrossFit, Sevon, did you watch Lauren's Love live show? I watched a few, probably like 3. As I was driving the kids around yesterday, I watched like 3 5-minute parts of it. Sevon, have you figured out what you're going to do to watch the NFL season? No. I don't feel confident about my every choice is like such an expensive commitment. And I don't feel confident. I looked at a YouTube TV. They don't have ESPN. I don't know what I'm going to do. So, I don't know. FCTP. Wow. Female CPT. Hi, Heidi. What's up? Good morning. Someone told me, I missed it. I didn't see the whole Lauren show, but someone told me she was talking about how big her boobs were. So I ran over there to watch that segment, but I missed it. And then I popped in and out. It's ballsy to come onto a show. From what I saw, the little bit I saw, she was relying on the chat. She was just discussing with the chat, and that's a real. I always feel like that's a really ballsy move. Like I would never come on here and just be like, okay, I'm just going to talk to you guys. So. Oh, Katrin was good on Talking Elite Fitness. I didn't see.
Seconds for me to...
How about now?
No, I still can't hear him.
Oh.
You just try.
Oh, check the board. Is the what if I call her? CTP knows what he's doing. I don't need to call and like I don't need to call and do his what's that called? Problem solve with him? Problem solve? He could call me. Check the gear on the bottom. Make sure you have the correct mic chosen.
You have a hole?
Make sure.
Yeah, just plug it in there.
Audio on road.
We got this. We got.
I don't believe you. I don't
Okay.
believe.
Wait, I can hear him through here now, but I can't hear
Right, good.
myself.
Yeah, but do you need to hear yourself?
No.
Yeah,
Can you
she
hear me,
does.
Stefan?
Yeah, I can. I can barely see you though.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, you look like 1970s Atari.
He said he can barely see me. I look like 1970s Atari.
But I can read the Travis Mayer shirt.
What
Very
does that
well.
even mean?
I have no idea.
I think it's an
They're
Asian.
you're too young to
Send
know.
it.
You know like how the Atari games were really chunky and blocky. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I'm not that young. I'm not that young. I know what you're talking about.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh please, child. Hey, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Sorry about all those issues. We thought we had it, but we didn't.
That's okay. I needed that. For some reason, I'm a little intimidated by you, so I need that. I need you to have some like immediately come out with some flaws and some errors to help settle me down.
What are you intimidated by?
I don't know. Maybe it's just everyone at Training Think Tank. Maybe it's the name. I just think, in my mind, your guys' IQ, you guys are like all Ashkenazi Jews to me. Like you have a IQ that's a standard deviation than the rest of the population. You know what I mean? Like everyone there's smart. Even Travis looks smart. Even your athletes look smart.
I think you said you thought I was like a neuroscientist or something, which made me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's-
Absolutely not.
That's just my racism coming out.
Yeah, is it the Asian?
Yeah,
So
the
you
fourth.
assume I'm good at math and science?
I have I have a strong discernment here, prejudice and discrimination. I like to avoid racism, but prejudice and discrimination run strong. No, I read somewhere that you pivoted big time, that you were like on a path. You had a path, and that maybe it was a post you wrote or something I read about you, but you were on a path. You're very thoughtful, by the way, in your post. I was cruising through your post. The one with Sarah Sigmund's daughter was actually really crazy. I was like, wow, this Perrin might be too emotional for this job. I mean, I thought you guys had to be like cutthroat, but you're so thoughtful. And it seems like empathy runs deep through your veins. But I thought I read somewhere that you were on a path and that you pivoted all of a sudden. You're like, shit, this isn't making me happy. You know what? I'm gonna go all in this way.
Yeah, for sure. I after undergraduate, I thought I wanted to go into business and finance and work on Wall Street and make a lot of money and be super rich. And I started working for a financial trading company in the Philly area from 2008 until 2012, 2013. And it just wasn't for me. I didn't really like the lifestyle. I didn't really like the work. I was just kind of sitting at a desk for 10, 11 hours a day, staring at computer monitors, and it wasn't interesting. So in that period of time is actually when I found CrossFit, because it was a gym a few minutes from my work on my commute home. And I stopped in there in 2010, took some classes, and it was kind of what I felt I was missing in my life, in my training. I did some collegiate sports. I've been an athlete my whole life. And yeah, I was really kind of hooked from then on. So I started coaching in 2011, and then left my job in finance in 2012.
Let me ask you some details about that. What school did you go to? What college did you go to?
I went to a small liberal arts college in Pennsylvania called Ursinus College.
Ursinus.
It's kind of a weird name.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's a very,
does that
very
mean?
small school.
What does it mean, Ursinus?
There is some actually some translation, and I don't remember anymore.
And what ethnicity are you?
I was born in South Korea, so I was actually adopted at 3 months old. So I'm a Korean American, very American.
Oh, I like this. This is good. All right, here we go. How do you be born in South Korea and get adopted? You got adopted by people who live in the United States?
Yep,
Your mom and dad?
my mom and dad, both Caucasian. They had 2 boys at the time. Weren't really sure if they would be able to have a girl, because my father's, all of his siblings, all of his cousins and everything, everyone was just producing boys. There were no girls coming out. And my mom only had 1 sister, so they had 2 boys, and they were like, well, we want another child, but I I guess they just decided to go for the adoption. I'm not exactly sure, honestly, the reasons, but my mom like kept a journal through the whole process, and about the whole adoption process is actually very complicated, very expensive, very stressful. And this was in 86. So I don't know what it's like now. But they actually, close to them coming to get me, I think the adoption agency wanted to give them another baby. And so there was actually this whole kind of fight for my parents to be like, no, this is the child that we're supposed to have. And you've sent us pictures. And so I very well could have ended up somewhere else. But yeah, they flew over to Korea, scooped me up. I had apparently a horrible ear infection, so I cried the whole plane ride home, and then they actually did end up having a baby girl after me. So I have a younger sister who's about 3 years younger than me. Yeah. So.
No kid. And do you know why your parents put you up for adoption?
The only thing I know about them, my birth parents, I think they were college students, and it was just an unplanned pregnancy, but I don't know anything else. So I assume I have half siblings out there.
Yeah, that's wild that they would go to South Korea. You think it would be just as easy or easier just to pick one up like in Philly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what
I
I
don't
mean?
actually I don't
I
think
mean, I
I've
think
ever
the Fronings
asked
got
them.
their kids on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think South Korea at the time was an easier process of Asian countries than something like China or other places. But I've never actually asked them those types of questions. Maybe I should.
How do you how old are you when you find out that you're adopted? Like, how does that process come about? How does it like as your awareness develops as a child? When does that kick in?
I don't recall ever having a conversation with them, asking them that. I think it's all I've ever known. Like I've never felt a difference in myself and my siblings, like me being adopted and them not being. Like that was never a distinction. My
Right.
parents treated us all the same. I mean, there's obvious physical differences. My siblings are white and I'm not. And I grew up in like I would say mostly white suburb of Philadelphia at the time. There wasn't like a ton of diversity, but there was a girl a few houses down actually that was Korean. And my mom would like try to kind of get me to be friends with her, and like take me to these Korean gatherings with other Koreans who are actually adopted, whether they be from Caucasian parents or otherwise. And it it was never like I never felt like I needed to have Korean friends or have necessarily connection to the culture, which has always been something that's been a little bit strange for me. Like, is this something that I should be trying to investigate a bit more or learning the language? Like, there were periods of time where I tried to learn the language. Like, I say try very loosely. And it just wasn't something I was ever passionate about. But I will say the one thing recently that I wish I knew Korean, because the two Korean athletes that are competing at the games, Sungyeon Choi and I forget John. I forget how to pronounce his name.
We call her John Young to make fun of John Young. Dwan Young or something. I think
Yeah,
right?
John Young. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to communicate with them, but I don't know the language.
Yeah, that's cool. Although I wasn't adopted, I totally get that because I was born and raised in a pretty like Armenian household, and it was pounded into me that I'm Armenian. You know, like that should be part of my identity. But I forgot the language and I just grew away from it. But every once in a while, like I'll get into an Uber in Los Angeles and there'll be an Armenian guy in there, and I'll feel like an affinity for him. You know what I mean? Like I'll feel something for them. Or like when I see Jessica Collegian, you know what I mean? I see the IAN in the last name, and those things somehow, as weird as it sounds, it resonates with me. So I get what you're saying. You see them and something maybe intangible draws you to them that's in yourself.
Sure.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's close in the gene pool, or I mean the truth is you probably aren't. I mean, it's a small island. I mean, Armenia was very small. The inbreeding there was strong. They're stuck in the Caucasus mountains. And South Korea, I mean, same with probably like Iceland. All of you guys are, you could probably, if you looked up the history somehow, if you had that passion, that you would probably see like You're not far from them in the family tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Korea is a very small country, but it's way more densely populated than something like somewhere like Iceland. And I do have some friends that I've met over the years that have moved to Korea and then moved back to the States. And another friend who's visited, and her mother's Korean, her father is white, and she's kind of explored the country to learn more about it. And I'd love to go there at some point in time. It's just like if I want to go, I think I want to carve out a fairly significant amount of time, and I just haven't planned it.
Is it learnable or is it crazy? Is the language learnable or is it crazy?
I think it would be pretty challenging. The difficulty in comparison to something like French or Italian is even the written word is in characters. Like I can't even begin to try to connect any of those things.
Right. And we share so many words. I'm not a linguist or anything, but basically English, what is it? They all have Latin roots, right? Us, the Spanish. Dude, Korea is huge. I didn't realize that. 51 million people. In comparison, Canada only has 39 million people.
Yes, it is. Like some of those cities are, I mean, they cram a lot of people in very small areas.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, so you come here and that's all you know. The kids only know what they know. I mean, so shit, like I hate to be crass, but kids who are beaten from a young age think it's normal. Kids who are molested from a young age, it's normal. Fucking being Korean in a white household is nothing. Like it's just you only know what you know. Like you can't know anything else. You just think it's okay. And so you played sports as a kid, and you had two brothers. So I'm assuming there was a lot of roughhousing and a lot of playing and a lot of physicality.
Yeah, I would consider myself like a tomboy. Like growing up, even elementary school, like I played soccer with the boys instead of playing with dolls with the girls. Like it was just what I did. I played as many sports as I could through middle school, high school, tennis, basketball, soccer, softball, and then ran track in college.
Okay, tennis, that's Asian. When we go to tennis tournaments, my kids are the only Jews. It's just them and Asian kids. So that's Asian. At least you got that.
Oh yeah, I picked up golf my senior year of college. Actually, that's actually pretty popular in Asian countries as well.
Did you like golf?
I love golf. Yeah.
Like it seems so polar to CrossFit, polar opposite to CrossFit in terms of its physicality and demands.
I think that's probably why people like it. I feel like golf is one of those sports you could play for the rest of your life because just like CrossFit, like you can always get
Trump
better.
Can play golf and Biden can play golf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I just saw something. There's a woman, a very old woman that I don't remember what her age is, but she's like crushing this like Masters League in golf.
What if I Google old woman golfer? Long time. Oh yeah. Oh shit. There's tons of old women golfers. Wow. In soccer's the great sport. Soccer, as we know, tons of running, tons of great CrossFitters come from soccer. If you got a big engine, then you adapt quickly to CrossFit. Soccer usually has a lot of foot dexterity, coordination. I mean, those guys are fucking animals. People always talk about gymnastics and wrestling as being like the best sport to come from CrossFit, but I think like stuff like water polo and soccer just crazy overlooked. And Miko Salo proved that quickly, right? Super high level professional soccer player comes over and quickly dominates. So you had a big engine.
I would say in CrossFit, I don't know. I would say average, but yeah, like the longer workouts would probably be better for me.
And then you go to school, and I like you're thinking you want to be rich. Rich is fun. Money's awesome. Lets you do a lot of fun stuff. You could buy avocados without looking at the price, and doesn't matter which pump you use at the gas station, just pump away. And that makes sense. And then 2008, you start working with a financial company, and that's a rough time to start with a financial company, right? 2008 was a fucking train wreck, as I recall.
Yeah. I would say the reason I wanted to be rich was because I grew up with not a lot of money. So it wasn't necessarily I wanted this lavish lifestyle. I just didn't want to be poor. So I think when you grow up with not a lot of money, and I wouldn't say we were poor by any means, but you know, I was working when I was 11 years old. Like I was doing my own laundry and I was doing any job I could possibly have because my parents really couldn't pay for anything. So if I wanted something, I had to work for it. So I think I kind of grew up with this work ethic that, you know, if I want to be self-sufficient financially, like what's the most efficient way to do that? And it was through business, right? Like I think there's a lot of people in business, very intelligent, smart people in business that could probably be doctors and lawyers and politicians, but they choose not to because they realize that that lifestyle might be more difficult than just using their brain power to build a business or build a company and make a lot of money. And then I think if you can build that, you could do anything you want later in life if you can retire at the age of 30 or 40. That wasn't necessarily my plan, and it didn't turn out that way by any means. But yeah, 2008 was a horrible time to try to get into a financial firm. I had some jobs lined up before I graduated, and they all fell through. Like Wall Street was like crushed. So, you know, I had some, there was a few companies in New York I was looking at and they just didn't have job opportunities. So it was kind of hard to find a job. And I got honestly really lucky. I don't know how I found something that was not too far away from my house. And it wasn't necessarily exactly what I wanted to do, but it didn't really matter. I think any entry level job at a good company is a solid job. And now I think that company is still doing very well. Like the owner is, I think, the richest man in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was that company was built. The guy who founded it, I think he was just like a gambler. Like he was super smart, like potentially on the spectrum smart, and did a lot of horse betting, right? Betting on horses, and he's very good at financial models, like played a lot of poker, those types of things. Kind of used that money and used those types of concepts to learn how to trade on the Philex. So he kind of looked at, okay, I could go buy a seat on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange in New York and pay a crap ton of money to set up a company in New York, or I could just buy a seat on the Philex in Philadelphia, but then placed his business across the street of the county line of Philadelphia and Delaware County so he could pay less taxes. So like our company was like basically in Philadelphia, but on the other side of the road.
Did you have proximity to him? Did you work for him?
I mean, he was the CEO. I didn't really talk to him. Like
okay.
he was a very chill guy. Like probably the most chill financial firm you ever go in. Like we could wear sneakers and jeans and polo shirts. So he sat on the trading floor with everybody else, but you know, I never really talked to him.
So you go there in 2008. How old are how much older are your brothers?
About 3. I think it's like 3 years and another 2 or 3 years. My oldest brother is actually special needs, so he's in his 40s now. I don't like interact with him as much. And then the brother that I'm closer to, yeah, I think he's about 3 years older than me.
And when you say special needs, can you tell me what exactly?
Yeah, he was born very premature. I forget how, maybe 3 months or something like that. So he was a preemie, very small baby, and I just think had a lot of health complications. So he had some stuff physically with like walking that he needed occupational therapy for, and just developmentally, he went through high school, but had to have like some special needs support. But functional enough, like where he lives on his own. He works in a grocery store. Like he's independent, but doesn't drive a car, needs some other assistance.
Because that's challenging living at home as another child with a special needs child in the house.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess once again, it's all you know.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really see it that way. probably because it's not like it's very different than if he had Down syndrome or something
Right.
that needs a lot more support. I would say it's like a social disability. Like if you had a conversation with him, you would know there's something off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at 11 years old, do you remember what your first job was?
I babysat.
Baby-
Which like looking back on, I'm like, I can't believe parents would ask 11-year-old to babysit their children, but just like my neighbors. And then where I lived, you had to get working papers to work if you were, I believe, under 16 years old. And so I think at 14, I started working for like Rita's Water Ice or something, or in like a restaurant.
And were you a good babysitter?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that was pre-cell phone, so it's not like you were sitting around on your cell phone the whole time.
No, yeah, pre-cell phones. That was a great time.
So at 11, babysitting, so you could make money, so you could get things for yourself, and then at 14, you got like a legit job,
Yeah, I usually had like 2 or 3 jobs.
and you were going to school.
Yeah,
And were you a good student?
pretty good.
Yeah, like a 4.0 student.
I think it was like a 3.9.
Wow. And were you hard on yourself for not being a 4.0 student?
No, I don't. It's like I want my grades good enough so I can go to a college that I want, but I don't really care about the numbers.
Sevon, can you ask this girl, you mean Perrin, how Alexis Raptis smells? We'll get to that. I want to be slow. I want to work my way to that. But that's on the top of my list, though. Thanks for pointing that out, reminding me, Pat. How does Alexis smell? Okay, good, got that. You can't. Oh, she just said you can't smell her when Travis is in the room because his body odor is so strong. Okay, and then so 2008 to 2000, what did you say? 14. You had the job in with that financial company.
2013.
13. But then in 2000, was it 2010 or 11? When did you see the CrossFit gym?
2010.
2010. And were you so tell me about that. You drive by it every day and you see it?
I just searched online. I wanted to find something that was within my commute. So either close to my house or close to work. And this was like right by work.
And did you just type in gym? Had you even heard of CrossFit at that point?
I didn't know much about it. One of my roommates in college who was on the track team, she had mentioned something about CrossFit. She was doing some type of kettlebell training. So I just looked it up and yeah, I just looked for a few gyms that I thought looked reasonable. I didn't really know what to look for at that time. And this place was like stone's throw away. So
Did you take loans to go to college?
yeah, but I got a fair amount of scholarships and financial aid. So I chose my college based on the like paying the least amount of money. I didn't really go to the school I wanted to go to, but I didn't want debt.
Smart. And are they all paid off?
Yeah, I think I paid them off in like a year and a half.
Oh, dang. Good job. Well, if you didn't, don't worry. They're going to make the rich people in this country pay for everyone's student loans here.
That was also it's a long time ago. I don't know what the cost of college is now. It's probably absolutely insane. I mean, it was insane back then, but
So you go in there, and do you remember your first? What was the name of the gym?
CrossFit 215. It's now called. It still exists. It's now called Requisite Fitness.
And it's not a CrossFit gym anymore.
I don't recall if he unaffiliated.
I wonder if I could requisite. Who knows if I even know how to spell that?
Yeah,
Nope. Requisite Fitness.
yeah.
No, I don't think it is anymore.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah, I don't see the word CrossFit on there anywhere. Well, good on them for still being around. That's a long time.
Yeah, they've been around for a really long time.
So you, Requisite Fitness is the home of CrossFit 215. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe they are. Yeah. Here you can find seasoned coaches that hold CF Level 1 certifications as well as advanced certificates from both CrossFit and OPEC schools. Okay, so you go in there and you take your first class. Do you remember your first workout, Perrin?
Yes, I do. It was Helen.
Oh, wow. Okay. And Helen's the one with pull-ups, running, and kettlebell, like 5 rounds or something, or 4 rounds or 3 rounds or
Yep.
something.
Mhm.
And you do it. And could you do a pull-up at the time?
No.
Not even one pull-up.
No.
And today, what's your all-time best for max pull-ups?
I haven't tested anything like that for a while. Right now it probably would not be that good. I could maybe do 30.
But what's your so now, not trained, you could do 30, just being just a regular CrossFitter.
I think so. 30 to 35 maybe.
Yeah, look at you, beast. Eaton Beaver, good morning. Hi, good morning. It's weird. I never think those names are weird until I have a guest like you on. I'm like, "Ooh, that's tough." Okay. I just funny how much is just normal until you have a guest on. And it's like when it's like you don't notice your underwear on the couch until someone comes over. Then you're like, "Ooh, your underwear."
Why would you put your underwear on the couch?
I don't, but it was the first example I could think of. I wish you would have let that slide, Perrin. Okay. So then you do that, and do you just fall in love with it right away? And if so, how come?
Yeah, definitely what do they say? Drink the Kool-Aid. That's the expression in CrossFit. Yeah, I think it just checked all the boxes. It was challenging. That was probably the biggest thing. Like I could not move for like a week after that workout, and I was doing banded pull-ups and like kettlebell swings with like maybe 20 pounds. But I was good at running because I had been running like 5Ks and half marathons after college because I didn't really know what else to do. So the running part I was pretty decent at. So I was like, oh, well, I have a lot of work to do, but this is actually kind of fun. And I also think it was the context. It was only a few people in the class, but they were all very good. Like they were fire breathers and they were very competitive. So I was intimidated by that, but also a little bit inspired that like, wow, these people are super strong. They're really good at this. They are kind of serious about it. So yeah, immediately I was like, I want to do this. And I started taking classes regularly. And then I think pretty fairly early on, I was wanting to get competitive in some aspect. So I think my first goal was to try to make it to regionals. Actually, I did the Open in 2011, which is the first time the Open started, the first year the Open started, but I didn't have a muscle up. So I couldn't do all the workouts. So I didn't sign up for it. And then 2012, actually, I've done every single Open since 2012. I've done every single Open ever.
Wow.
But yeah, 2012, we qualified for a team for regionals. I think I got that like the last spot. And so that was kind of the start of like, oh, maybe this competitive thing could work out. And it's also, that was some motivation to leave my job so that I could train more. Yeah.
To compete.
Yeah.
When that first class you went to with all the good people when you did Helen, were they boys or girls in the class?
It was both.
Both. Like a good mixture.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't like, man, this is all girls or this is all boys. It was a good mixture.
No, and I think the two girls were very competitive rugby players. So like even just their physique, like you could tell they were super strong. And I was like, oh, I kind of want to look like that. I kind of want to be like that.
Yeah. Look formidable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to put a theory out here I've never put out here before. I'm going to judge you for being a Asian woman. If this was a man, he would say when he fell into CrossFit, he started consuming all the videos. I'm going to guess you, being a woman and Asian, you started reading all the journal articles. Am I right in my
I
theory?
definitely did both.
Oh, damn.
I did both. I would
Perrin will not be
actually
put in the box.
print
She will
out.
not be put in the box. Oh, okay. Point 7. All right. Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I printed out the journal articles and I would like 3-hole punch them and put them in a binder, and I
Okay,
would
I'm giving
read them.
myself a point for that. Social discernment and stereotypes. Ding, ding, ding. Savvy point.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
remember. Yeah, I got so into it. There was like a lot of athletes wrote blog, or I shouldn't say a lot. Some athletes wrote personal blogs back then.
Yeah,
I don't
I would
remember if
say a
you
lot.
remember.
I would say a lot. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that was
Yeah,
big. Yeah.
Blogspot and all that. So I remember like at work, anything to distract me from actually working. I would read Blair Morrison's blog. I think Austin
Mhm.
Malleolo had one. Yeah, and then I would play fantasy football and poker.
But regardless of how you did it, because you liked it so much, you just started consuming everything you could about it. You immediately were in. You were one of those people. And did you go to the website every day at 5 p.m. to see the workout too? Would you be refreshing CrossFit.com to see the workout of the day? Do you remember that?
I'm not sure. I might have. I definitely looked at the website a lot. I would say that first year, I really paid attention to a lot of the CrossFit.com stuff. And then when I got into coaching, I started looking other places for more information and just like learning strength and conditioning. So, OPEX now, OPT at the time, that's when I started to get into they had like a coaching course, education. I forget when I started taking that, maybe 2013.
Did you do that before your level 1?
No, I
No.
did my level 1. And then maybe the Olympic weightlifting level 1. I went up to Connecticut. I did a strongman course with Rob Orlando, which was not a CrossFit course at the time. Yeah, I mean, I did anything and everything I possibly could. I think that was at Hybrid Athletics. I remember seeing like Dave Lipson and Camille there. I did some seminars with Rudy Nielsen from Outlaw Way.
Yep. Wow, damn, you've been around forever. So you hit all the big ones. Those are all the big ones. Rob Orlando was big then, Mike Bergener, Rudy, OPEX. So you dove in. And those weren't cheap. So you're paying you were dedicated. You were putting up your hard-earned cash, paying for hotels, flights, and running around the United States of America getting as much knowledge as you could.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You got to, if you want value, you got to pay for it. I think that everyone that we work with at TTT, and that was one thing that kind of attracted me to Max was, he's always hired specialists and coaches to learn from. Like you could figure it out on your own. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could watch a million videos, but there's nothing like going in person and learning from somebody and having a conversation with them and trying things out for yourself. So I've always been a big proponent of investing in education, which is also why I think like here we are creating our own courses now. And that's been an awesome thing to be a part of in some capacity, because I think educating future coaches on how to be really great coaches is gonna be what supports kind of the future generations. I think more coaches, even just regular gym CrossFit coaches, want to learn more about how they can be better or how they can leverage themselves to maybe make more money instead of just coaching group classes. And I think that's an important evolution.
How long were you doing CrossFit before you took your level 1?
I took my level 1, I probably got it within a year.
So right away.
Mm.
And how long before you started coaching?
I started CrossFit in like the mid 2010, and I think I was coaching in 2011.
At 215?
Yeah.
And so you go get your level 1, and do you walk up to the owners of the gym and are like, "Hey, I want to coach," or is just one day a coach is not there and you're like, "I got this,"
No, I asked.
and they said, "Sure, go ahead, Perrin."
I had to do some shadowing, which I think was good. I don't think it should be you just, oh, here's my level 1, like go coach. And I was pretty shit at it to begin with. I remember I had to teach some mock classes, and I was stumbling over my words. I was talking too fast. So it took me a period of time to feel fairly comfortable with what I was doing.
And then when you went to OPEX, what was your impression of that? The OPT stuff. Was it brain candy? Did you love it when you went over there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a bit intimidating at the time because kind of put some of those people on a pedestal because they're super smart, they're intimidating.
And Max was over there, right? And he was played a huge part in the development of that, right?
Yeah, so Max and I crossed paths for a very, very short period of time, which I joke about this story because it's the first time we met, but he has no recollection of it, and I wouldn't expect him to. But he was on his way out, which I didn't know, but I had gone out to Scottsdale to do a course, and I was able to book like a one-on-one session with him. They had a requirement of learning how to make SS scores, where you basically it's like body fat with calipers. So you have to sweep certain sites and you measure it with a caliper. And in order to do that, you kind of want to have a feel for people's bodies. And I didn't want to do that on somebody for the first time. So I did it on him. So like my first interaction with him was like, he's like, "Hi, I'm Max," and takes his shirt off, and I am squeezing his body fat.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even remember it.
No, I don't know how he would.
I wonder how many people Max has been calipered by.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, and I hope there was someone else in the room. Was there someone else in the room?
I don't remember. Probably not.
Very inappropriate, Max. Very inappropriate. You never get away with that in 2024. Okay, so you go there and you get your certificate from OPEX also to be an OPEX trainer.
Yeah, you had to do the courses like separately. So there was a program design course, an assessment course, business systems, nutrition, and life coaching. So sometimes they would have 2 in one weekend or over a course of a few days. And then sometimes you had to sign up for them individually. But yeah, I took all their courses, a few of them, multiple times actually. And then you had to do a practical, like you had to write programs for different types of clients and kind of prove that you knew what you were doing and you were graded on that, and then you would receive your certificate.
And then and you're doing all of that while you're at 215.
Yeah.
Do they pay for any of that, or do you pay for that? That's all out of pocket.
I think I paid for it, but the owner of the gym helped me with some other things. Like I hired a coach in 2012 to try to qualify for regionals in 2013, and I think he paid for that for a period of time. So he was aware that the coach life is not easy. You don't make a lot of money, and he knew I wanted to try to pursue kind of athletic goals, so he was supportive.
And then so you have all that, and where do you go from there, from 215? What happens next? What's the next evolution in Perrin? How do you say your last name? Behr?
Yeah,
Behr,
like the
Perrin,
animal.
Behr. Okay.
So there was a period of time where I had another job offer come through with Wodify. They were trying to open up a physical gym location, New Jersey. So I met with them. But it just was like too far away. It was a little bit it'd be too difficult, but I didn't take that job. But I took a different job with another gym in Center City, Philadelphia, CrossFit Center City, which does not exist anymore. It's like about a block away from City Hall in a basement. And so I switched to that gym, which was kind of tough, leaving my previous gym, but I ended up coming back to my previous gym. But I was attracted to that place because the owner had set up a model that I've not seen anywhere else, especially at that time. This was 2014. She had a full-time coaching staff. So the staff was salaried. They had like full coaching shifts. There were 2 coaches on every class. She had like over 300 members. And she was very, very supportive of helping develop the coaches. So we would go on trips, take educational trips up to like do an Eric Cressy course in Massachusetts together and stay in an Airbnb, and or she would bring other specialists in our gym and pay for that so that we could become more educated. So it was like I was a part of a coaching staff. And so that was a unique opportunity that I just wanted to be a part of, because the other gym I was at, it was just kind of me and the owner and some part-time coaches, and I felt like I wasn't able to grow. So I made that shift, and that's kind of when I started coaching more individuals and competitive athletes. I had a group of people who wanted to try to make it to regionals, and so I would coach them 4 nights a week, starting at 7:30, 8 p.m. until whenever we're done, 10:30 p.m. For like 3 years, just to try to improve their abilities. And that's kind of where I would say I gained a lot of my experience that's really helped me to this day. So
What year was that?
that was 2014 to, I forget what, 2014 to maybe 2017, 2018.
Hey, so at that point, you're kind of just living the mad scientist life. You're waking up in the morning, and it's just being you're pairing the coach, um, eat where you can, work out where you can, and just and fiddle with athletes, tinker with athletes, try to make optimize human performance.
Yeah, I was training a lot too. I mean, I qualified for regionals in 2013 as an individual, then qualified on a team in 2014, and then transitioned to weightlifting for a few years, and then came back to regionals in 2018 on a team. So there was still that.
Did you get the impression that your athletes liked you?
I hope so.
But you didn't you weren't like, man, these people really like me, man. I'm really killing it.
No, I mean, I think building strong relationships with athletes and your clients is vital to the coaching relationship, but you also have to be careful, because if you get too close to people, you can kind of blur relationships and friendships. And I've done that. I've certainly made mistakes in that department before. And now I think, because I'm older, there's more of a natural separation because I have a bigger age gap. But some of the athletes I was coaching, they were also my friends. So navigating those lines sometimes can be a bit tricky. But I do, I think that people like me, but I also think people that they respected me. Like I wore my coaching hat most of the time, but also I'm a person too. And like you said, kind of in the beginning, I think one of the things that can be hard for me sometimes is I can be so empathetic and I just want to help people that, it doesn't allow the person to be independent and kind of work through things themselves. So kind of trying to find that balance has always been something that's been challenging, but I also think it helps build a relationship and understanding, when people need support, like you have to be there for them as a person first.
My kids have been doing a bunch of different activities since they've been, 4, and my oldest is now 9. So I've seen these relationships that they've had with coaches, a bunch of coaches now for 5 years. And it's kind of crazy to watch their relationships, even the coaches who are the most serious as a heart attack, like the tennis coach. I've seen him like the line got blurred. Like sometimes I see him joking around with my kid and I can tell it's out of character for him, and that I can tell that he has these rules, but he's been with my kid since my kid's 4, couldn't even make sentences. And now they've been together, 5 hours a week for fucking 5 years religiously. And it's a trip. The boundaries is and especially like the jiu-jitsu instructors also, they got a handful of them they're really close with. And because also there's a ton of physicality, right? So you're wrestling with the kid who's 4 and now he's 9, and it's like you have to be serious with them, but they're also just kids, but they're also, they're also now like cross that boundary into friends. It's a trip. I could only imagine. And you're working with athletes who, when they're at their peak performance, are probably the most vulnerable.
For sure. Yeah, peak performance. And then I think the hardest times is when they're facing adversity. So they either have an injury or something's going on in their life. It's the same reaction where it's very emotional, and it's difficult to kind of discern the emotion from the logic. So I think it is.
And you're so close to it, you're getting mixed up in it too.
I mean, that's the hard part, right? I don't really know if there's a right or wrong answer of how you handle that, but I do think.
You ever cried at a competition, like one of your athletes cry? Like, so athlete
Yeah.
comes off and they're crying, you're like, "Oh, shit, my tear ducts are turning on now too."
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that okay? To
It's
cry?
100% okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can cry
I
with
think crying is completely normal. Like, I think it's just a release of emotion. Like, everybody has their ways of expressing emotion. Some people cry, some people get angry, some people
I
grunt
was
or yell.
I wasn't suggesting that crying's not okay, but,
Is it okay for me to cry, you mean?
yeah, like if my wife's mad about something, right? Or my kids are mad about something, I try to just hold the space. I try to just start breathing and hold the space and let them work through. I try not to react to their anger so that you know what I mean? So you ever been in a fight with someone and then you just holding space and they work through their whole shit and they come out of it and then next thing you know, they're like, "That was stupid. I'm sorry." You're like, "Oh,
For
that
sure.
was easy." But it's hard, right? Because part of you wants to be like, "Fuck you, I didn't do that." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, if one of your athletes, who's one of your female athletes now?
Bethany Flores.
And who's one of your male athletes?
I don't have a games individual. I will be coaching. I will have Travis Mayers coaching pass at the games this year. So
So Travis comes off crying. You ever seen Travis cry?
no,
No.
I can't even picture it.
Yeah, he can't cry. And not because he's a boy or nothing stupid like that. He just can't. He's got too like when you have that many kids, you just can't cry anymore. You're just like I can't do it. You just can't do. If you do it, like anytime I cry now, I go behind closed doors. You know what I mean? Or it's like I'm in a movie with them and they're laughing at me, like some Disney movie, and I'm crying. They're like, okay, so Bethany comes off the floor and she's crying, and you don't even all of a sudden you're just one person, right? Like her emotion just floods over you. It's okay for you to cry too.
I mean, I think
It's like that, right? She's a
yeah.
powerhouse. She comes off the floor. She looks like she's otherworldly, and then you just feel as she comes close to you, you just feel the emotion pour off onto you too, right? It's like a bubble of emotion. Like she just walks by people who have their back to her and they start crying.
I think it depends on the context. If they're crying because they're sad or upset, or if they're crying because they're happy. I think I respond. I will cry if it's happy. Like it's like we're celebrating something. Like, yeah, we just fucking did something awesome. You just showed that you were trying to prove something to yourself and you accomplished that, and it's been a very long road to get there. Like that's awesome. But if she made a mistake in something and is upset, I probably wouldn't respond by crying. I would respond with empathy or like let's try to reframe this and move on. So
Right.
a bit more stoic in that sense.
Right. You seem very stoic back there when I see you. Very stoic. You seem the most stoic of all the coaches that I see back there. You're very calm, still.
Would you say I have a resting bitch face?
Not at all. I think
Really?
actually,
Okay.
no, not at all.
That's an improvement then.
Someone in here said, "Wow, she's really cute." I find you as very cute. I
Well,
think
thank
you're
you.
very cute. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. You have good skin and you look young. You look ageless and timeless, but you look very stoic when you're back there.
Do you ever think about you podcast, so you probably see yourself on video a lot. Like, do you ever think about how you look? Because I have no idea what I look like on camera or like to other people, right? Like we only see each other in ourselves in the mirror, or if we're doing something like this. So I have no idea, So, but I will say, I think in years past, I don't know if I'd call it criticism, but I certainly heard a lot of things said about I look so serious or intimidating.
Yeah, you
So
look a little intimidating. Well, it's
yeah.
because we're reading I'm always reading people. So I don't watch myself, I'm just watching. So, like, yesterday, I had Maddie Sturt on, and I started talking to her about, uh, the first time, like, that if there were sparks between her and Jay Crouch and what it was like, working out barely clothed with him, and I'm just reading her face the whole time, seeing, like, how far I can push it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just constantly looking, but you don't give off anything.
Oh, that's great. That's why I want it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have any wrinkles or nothing. You know what I mean? Like you like I just see you and I'm like, "Oh, fuck, can I even say her name right? Am I gonna fuck her name up?" I'm so glad to have you on the show to get over this hump.
People mess up your name all the time.
Well, I'm used to it, right? I'm used to it. I'm totally comfortable with whatever anyone calls me. But I had trouble remembering your name, Perrin. And so
Yeah, it's
like
a weird name.
at West
Like,
Coast Classic, I wanted to talk to you, and usually I'm very like, I don't care. I usually don't care, but for some reason I didn't like, I don't care if someone thinks I disrespected them or not. Like, I know what I'm doing, but for you, for some reason, I didn't want to, all those like insecurities came back to me. You know what I mean?
have you had that feeling with anybody else?
Uh, yeah, a lot. I mean, look, even Bethany. I didn't talk to her at the games too because I have a very difficult time reading her, or even Tia Toomey. I used to only before when it was okay that I talked to her. I still wouldn't talk to her. I would just talk to Shane. Like there's just some people I just cannot read, and so if I can't read you at all, and it's not conscious reading, but like as a being back there, I'm looking for signals, right? I'm looking for um Brandon Luckett's like a perfect example. Like he'll definitely give you the signal that it's okay to approach him.
I see.
You know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah.
with some people, there's just no signal that I can read, and so I'll just stay away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a interesting time when you're approaching them if it's in a competition
For
because
sure. For
very
sure.
unique.
Yeah,
So
especially when that's your whole job to just approach people at this fucking crazy time, right?
yeah, I mean they probably see you out of the corner of their eyes too, and if that's something that would stress them out, they might give off body language like "Don't talk to me."
Right. The thing is, to go into this subject a little deeper. The thing is I te I don't know if this is true, but this is the story I tell myself. They might not wanna talk now, but in 2 years or in 6 months or in 5 years, they'll be so happy that they did because there'll be a record of it. Like, I always feel like probably, um, um, like, anytime I've ever gone back, I usually don't watch any of the behind the scenes or any of that, but occasionally something will pop up or I'll see something and I'll be like, "Wow." I'm never like, "That was stupid." I'm like, "Fuck, that was amazing." I'm like, "So much better than I thought, and those people are so much cooler than I remember them." Like, all that shit always seems to age so well to me. And so I kind of feel bad for people who don't wanna play back there or make that sacrifice because they won't it I don't think they'll regret in 5 years, I think they'll be like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad I did that." I don't know if that's true, but that's my story.
I also feel like there might be people who in the moment they don't want to talk to you,
For
but
sure.
they also want you to ask. Like they
Right,
actually do want you to
right,
approach them because
right,
they want to be recognized.
right.
Um,
Yeah, they put
but
in all this fucking hard work.
when you say like whether or not you did a good job, what does that mean? Like you asked them the right question or approach them at the right time?
Yeah, and I wanna give people, uh, um I feel I think the people that I work with, I think the athletes are so fucking amazing, like, as people. Like, I just like them all so much as people. Even the ones I don't like, I really admire and like them. Like, I and I enjoy glorifying them. And so if I feel like and whenever I see the behind the scenes, I'm like, even the people who are, like, doing poorly, I think that they come across amazing. I just think, "Oh, man, that person, it really is so cool." You know what I mean? When I go back and see like 99% of the time, like, "Man, that person's awesome, and I did a good job," um, or they did a good job representing themselves. And so
Yeah.
that's all I wanna do. I want there to be that's how I feel about the podcast too. I want people to come on here and then more people to like them.
Yeah, because
You
you're
know what I
actually
mean?
getting to know them as a person and not just
Right,
who you think they are.
right, right.
Yeah. I had an idea after semifinals this year. I was thinking about um all the athletes that are in the first heat. So they're like the lowest ranked athletes. Like as the weekend goes on, obviously if you're in the first heat after a few events, it's like, okay, you're not doing as well. But all of those athletes, whether they be rookies or maybe even veterans who were surprised they qualified, or maybe a future up and coming champion, like I actually feel like they have the most interesting stories, because usually what it takes to get there, either for the first time or come back and qualify, I don't want to say it's more, because the athletes at the highest level are working extremely hard, and their ability, their capacity is probably greater, but a lot of the lower level athletes are sacrificing quite a lot to get to that stage. And now, especially this year, with us cutting how many athletes qualified, it was even harder to get there. But they're like never highlighted, right? Like sometimes they're not even broadcasted. But I find them very interesting. Like I would be curious what's going through their head, knowing that like they can kind of do like run their own race because they don't have cameras in their face. Like they know they're not getting the attention that the other athletes are getting. And so I don't know. I just found it interesting. I thought about it. It would be an interesting project. I don't think anyone would ever do it because I don't really know who would watch it. But
I take offense to that. I like all the weirdos.
I know you do. I know you do. I'm saying like
I love all. I mean, how Shelby Neal's black, but she's red hair with blue eyes. Colton Merton works on a fucking pig farm, and he's fucking 4 foot nothing. I love the weirdos. Paige Semenza is so fucking like complex and wound tight, and yet also free. And like, I like these. It sucks that Danielle Brandon went into the stratosphere because she's so fucking complex, and it's so. I love the weirdos, but I also can't even believe that. But I also like scratching the surface of these like people like Alexis Raptis who are fucking like beauty queens and the girl next door and just so fucking normal, but inside it's just a fucking there's a Godzilla in there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that there's room. I don't know. I know what you're saying though. Like I'll be at the West Coast Classic and there'll be fucking 40 people on one person. When like Tudor Magda, like what a fucking trippy cat. How cool would it be to fucking get into his head for a minute? What a fucking trip.
yeah, I mean, I'm talking about literally the lowest ranked athletes at semifinals, or the lowest ranked athletes at the games that are going to get cut probably after 2 days.
Yeah, like if I spoke Korean, it would be crazy to do Dwan Young and find out. Yeah,
Yeah.
ask her some crazy shit, right? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This year, yeah. I wonder, and it's kind of easy to know who they are. The bottom 10 are you just kind of know, right?
Typically. I mean, yeah. Anyway.
So when you go to the games this year, will you be just glued to Bethany Flores? Your eyeballs will be glued on her the whole time?
So I'm not going to have Bethany's coach's pass. Her husband's going to have her coach's pass. And I'm not really sure how they will navigate the rules with coaches this year. The packets that we've received seems like it's going to be pretty strict, but because it's in one venue, maybe it will be easier. So my primary responsibility is actually going to be for Travis. And then assuming that I can get in the warm-up area for Bethany, I'm going to do that as much as I possibly can. But it's Bethany's always had Randy, her husband, as her coach in competition.
He's a competent trainer himself, right?
Very, very competent, and he sees her train. He spends the most time with her. She is very calm and reassured by his presence, and it absolutely makes the most sense. I think what's worked best is when we can kind of both be there and we communicate a lot. But it'll just kind of depend what the rules are. So I'm hoping to be, like you said, glued next to her as well. But I also have a responsibility to Travis as well.
Is there anyone else there for Travis too?
Max will definitely be there. Yeah. But Max is also coaching Linda Kaisman, and she's a rookie this year.
Oh yeah.
So
She's a good example. No one knows who she is.
everyone in the Netherlands knows who she is. A lot of people in Europe knows who she is. Yeah. But maybe not.
But not here.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably not.
Does she speak English?
She does.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. And what about Miss Raptis?
Raptus will have Adam. I called her Raptus. Alexis will have Adam,
Oh,
her coach.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so wow, and that must be kind of fun to have all of you guys down there. But by you guys, I mean you, Adam, and Max. So to have all three of you be down there.
Yeah, competitions are so much more fun when we have a group of people. Like it just takes, I think it takes the pressure off because we almost can rely on each other. Like it's not just, it's your sole responsibility to take care of this one person and you're completely focused on them. All of our athletes can utilize any of our coaches. And we also can spend time with each other outside of the competition as well. So, it's so much more enjoyable. Like West Coast Classic was probably one of the most fun experiences I had coaching in a while. Like usually I leave those competitions very, very, very drained. But I roomed with Mike McGoldrick and Kyle Ruth was out there and a few of our other coaches, and we would drop into gyms, train together, go out to dinner afterwards, like talk about whatever. Like it's just so much more fun.
Yeah, is Mike McGoldrick? Did I say his name right?
McGoldrick.
McGoldrick. Is he a coach at the same gym you're at?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a coach.
He's there at that gym. And you're in Georgia?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, he has a crazy recognizable face to me. What's the other guy's name that's on the Pot Training Think Tank podcast lot? Is it Brendan?
Brannon.
God, no wonder I can't remember his name. Not because it's a fucked up name. Brannon. No, you know any other Brannons?
Yes.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like maybe one.
Brannon Perrin. I won't get you too confused.
We have another coach that has a weird name that people always mispronounce. It's Ryne, Ryne.
Does he have any games athletes?
No.
Okay, good. I won't try to remember his name. This boyfriend of yours.
Oh, my
What's
fiance.
his fiance. What's his name?
Chris Kinjeski.
Oh, where did you get him at?
I met him at the gym.
Oh shit. Look at him. That's a lot.
He's on a games team.
He is?
Yeah.
Was that how long have you guys been together?
I think 7 years. 7 or
And
8
you
years.
met him at Training Think Tank?
No, I met him in Philadelphia. He was a client actually.
Was that frowned upon that you harvested a client?
I don't think it was frowned upon. I forget what gym. I think it was when I was at Center City, so it was fine as long as you just kind of let the owner know, like, hey, we're dating, because those things can go very well. Usually, I feel like they go very well. I think most of my coworkers met their husbands or wives coaching at that gym, or it can go poorly sometimes, right? If it doesn't work out. Awkward.
He's Polish. Is that a Polish name?
That's a Polish name, yeah. Italian and Polish.
Okay, so this is gonna be my second. This one isn't sexist. This one's just stereotype. I'm guessing he was hitting on you and you were oblivious to it because you're an Asian girl.
No, he would tell you.
Please come on. The last time you said no too, and I was right. You did the
no.
3-1 thing.
He would tell you the opposite. He says that I'm the one who went after him.
Okay.
He likes to describe our origin story as a Top Gun. I guess that's one of his favorite movies.
Yeah, one of my favorite too. I like him already.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it was.
He was playing volleyball and you saw him?
No, it's just working out.
So what do you think happened though? Do you think am I even remotely right that that he was hitting on you and you didn't know it?
I don't know. I don't think that's right. He's very, I would say, more on the shy side. So I think we were just spending a lot of time together, and I was coaching him. We took a trip down to Annapolis to check some things out at the Naval Academy, and Yeah, we were just spending a lot of time together, and I think he was kind of like, oh, I feel like something's going on. But I don't think he was sure, because it is a weird situation, right? When it's your coach and you don't want to overstep boundaries. He's very polite. So it was not a scenario where he would be hitting on me necessarily.
And coaching is a very intimate process.
For sure.
Yeah. Jordan Vance, related to JD Vance. Congratulations on your brother being nominated vice president. The parent equals great dude.
Oh, Jordan. No, not related to JD Vance.
Oh, come on.
Definitely not.
No, come on. There's a lot of famous people or famous adjacent people. Heidi Kroom, wrong, Sevi. Men are the oblivious ones.
It's probably closer to the truth
All
with
right,
our
fine.
situation.
I'm very open-minded. My coaching is extremely intimate. All right, Heidi. All right. So in 7 years is a milestone. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
I think relationships are, like I say this on my show all the time. I think the crowning achievement in my life is my relationship with my wife. I'm like so fucking proud of it.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of work.
yeah, and it's fun, and it's like putting money in the bank. It just starts really paying off. It's like it just keeps paying off to have a rock in your life.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think everybody needs it.
Everyone needs a good, healthy relationship.
Yes.
And you're engaged. How long have you been engaged?
A while. Yeah. Everyone, that's like the number one question we get. When are you getting married? It just hasn't been a priority. We've engaged for over a year and a half.
But you're not stressed about it. Like, who cares? Whatever.
No.
God, he must love you. You sound like the perfect girl.
You should tell him that.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, no one wants to be bugged about that shit. My wife and I didn't get married until we had a 2-year-old, and then she got pregnant with twins, and then we went to the courthouse. But I remember I never thought we would get married, but I remember being on a plane and there was turbulence. And I just remember having this thought that was so loud, it was almost like I could hear it. And it was like, you idiot, you should have married her. Because I thought I was going to die on the plane.
Mm.
I was like, where the fuck did that come from? You got bigger fish to fry than that. You're going to need this plane to land. And then I just remember thinking, I better fucking marry her. And then we went to the courthouse. Yeah. And the lady who married us was Chinese, and she did it was in Oakland, and she did she did some of the vows in Chinese. It was kind of wild. I liked it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Even if you get married in a courthouse, you think you would go in there and just sign papers and walk out. It's not like that. Like, they take you into a room and you still have to say all the shit to each other.
Nice.
It looked like a homeless guy. We have my mom took some photos with an iPhone. Fucking look. It's fucking ridiculous. So when do you go to the games?
I'm going to leave on Monday.
Okay, me too. And the way you say that is you're going by yourself, or are you going with Travis? You'll be on this.
No, I'm gonna drive by myself.
Oh, how far is that?
It's about 13 hours.
Perrin, are you a good driver?
Depends who you ask.
All right. Okay. What kind of car do you drive? I could guess.
You probably think it's an Asian car.
I think it's a Subaru.
Oh no, it's not a Subaru.
Oh.
I drive a Mazda CX-5.
Oh, let me see this thing. Mazda CX-5.
It's nothing special. Actually, I think I'm going to be driving. We have a truck. I think I would be driving. We have a Ford Maverick.
Oh man, your relationship really is serious. It's we.
Yeah, yeah, it's serious.
Oh, that's a nice car, the CX-5.
Yeah, it's a nice car.
It's a 4-door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a cool car. Yeah, you should take that. That's perfect. As opposed to, what's the truck?
A Ford Maverick. It's, imagine if we want to bring anything back, it'll have a little bit more space.
Like if you buy stuff from Rogue there? Oh, that's a nice car too. Does what's your fiance's name again? Oh, you close.
Chris.
Chris. Does Chris have a preference of which car you drive, like which one he thinks is safer for you?
I don't think he has a preference.
Oh, okay. All right. I bet you he does. Ask him. I bet you he does. Does he worry about you a lot?
Okay. I don't think so.
No, he's not. No, okay. And does he have a day job or is he a full-time athlete?
So he was an engineer. He was a marine engineer. He worked on ships. He went to school at a maritime school and got into that because it was something his father did and his brother
in
did.
Vallejo, California? Did he go to that school?
No, he went to SUNY Maritime in the Bronx, New York.
Okay, sorry. Okay, go on.
No, it's all right. I mean, well, usually the maritime schools are on the coasts, right? So you probably have them in California, and then there's a bunch in like Maine, New York, I think Maryland, Rhode Island. I'm not sure. So he started to try to get out of that profession a few years ago, and so he's not doing it anymore. And he actually works for Training Think Tank now. So we spent a lot of time together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is he going to the games?
Yeah, he's on a team.
Oh, that's right. You said that. And you're not going together.
Well, he is going to fly because he doesn't need to sit in a car for 2 days. I'm driving because I typically drive to the games. Like I used to drive to Madison. It's a bit more convenient if you want to bring things. And there's also, I don't know, I'm a bit cynical about flying these days because of like all the delays and all that stuff. So I just want to be able to get where I'm going and like know when I'm going to get there and not have to like wait in an airport and stress about that. So it just makes sense for him to fly there. He'll get there quicker, be with his team, and then I'll come and we'll have a car and then we'll drive back.
I can fully relate. I drove to Greg invited me to Idaho, and I live 16 hours from there. And he's like, "Hey, I'll fly you up." I'm like, "Nope, I'll drive." I'm dread. That's the one thing I'm dreading about the games. I do not want to go to the airport. I don't want to see any other human beings. I don't want to get in a plane. I don't want the door to blow off. I don't want to be late. I don't want anyone touching my luggage. I don't want to look at the sea of fucking disgusting humanity that is my colleagues and peers in the airport, fucking stuffing their face with caramel popcorn. Just a fucking ass. I'm just an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm jaded because I'm going to go to the CrossFit games and it's going to be 15,000 of the most beautiful people congregating in one place on the planet.
It is true.
Yeah. All right. Well, I could keep you on forever, but I gotta take the kids to the skate park. I'm really glad to meet you. You're God, man. You're way cooler than I even thought.
Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
We could even be friends, I think.
I would love to be friends with you.
Awesome. All right.
Why not? So you'll be less intimidated when you see me at the games.
Dude, I'm gonna stick to you like glue. You're gonna be like, "Oh fuck, I made too good of an impression."
Okay. Sounds good.
And it'll be good to reunite with Travis. The last couple of years, the last year at the behind the scenes, I didn't get to spend much time with him, but it'll be good. We have some really good memories together, and I really enjoy filming with him. So it'll be cool. And speaking of someone who's acclimated to the camera, that dude's acclimated.
Yeah. Travis is a good dude. You should definitely chat with him. And I think this is going to be a great year for him. It's been really busy. Our grand opening, we just moved into a new gym today. Well, today we're having our grand opening. We've been moving for the last week. So he's been wearing all sorts of hats.
Really? Travis just moved his gym?
Yeah, we just merged with his CrossFit gym. So he works for Training Think Tank now, and we're all in the same facility. So we have our company has like our individual athletes, all of our coaching staff, all of the affiliate coaching staff, and we run classes in one space now.
Okay, we're not going quite yet. So my impression was there was Travis Mayer's gym and Training Think Tank was inside of there as a separate entity, but they cohabitated. Now you're saying that whole operation has moved somewhere else, but it's no longer a Travis Mayer gym, it's a Training Think Tank gym.
That's correct.
Oh, cool. Wow. So that's got to be a huge relief for Travis.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's probably a mix of emotions, right? Like if something that you've owned for a long time and it was your baby, like it's a different phase. He's still very much involved with everything, but he's not the owner of the gym anymore. So I think it's going to be a transition for him for sure, just in shifting roles and not having sole control of things. Working with us and Max to kind of figure out some things that we're going to change culturally and just how we function in this building, because the way that the previous place worked, it was like kind of shaped like an L, where we were in the same building, but you didn't actually see everything going on the TTT side and the affiliate side. And now we're literally in like a one big box, so everyone can see everything going on. So we kind of have to figure out some new rules and logistics, how everyone can function really well. And Max has kind of brought all the coaches together to figure out how can we even enhance and improve the affiliate side, right? With our processes and improving quality for the members. So yeah,
How close is it to the old gym?
I think it's like 6 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at CTP cam. I got a
Oh,
pass,
yeah.
and a day in the life of Travis will drop on our YouTube next week. Awesome.
Yeah, Chris wanted to say thank you. If he doesn't know how influential you were in that, but never mind.
Thank you.
Nothing. No,
Okay. Love you, Perrin. Whew, dodged a bullet. Okay. Love you, Perrin. I'll see you soon. I'll see you in a week.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Perrin Behr. She fucking deserves 3 hours. Holy shit. Wow. Wow. I say this with no fucking hyperbole, complete honesty. That's the most invigorated I've been about going to the games. What a cool chick. What a great point of point of contact and content she will be. Holy shit. And that'll put me smack dab also with Travis and Alexis and Bethany. Fucking awesome. Yeah, we need more of her. Even David knows that. Yeah, that chick's cool. I wonder how, you know what I was thinking the whole time, final thought on Perrin. I was thinking the whole time, I wonder if she could hang like on just like a CrossFit Games update show and shit, because we get crazy in there. But man, she could really add some value. She's the shit. Yeah, I do need a cigarette. I really like her. Her dude scored. Yeah, I could listen to her all day too. She's dope. All right. Love you guys. A big CrossFit Games update show today. It sounds like I got John Young and JR Howell. I'll try to get one more. Bill Grundler denied me again. Fucking Bill. Bill prioritizes his family before the CrossFit Games update show. I hate that shit. Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.